Say it. Come here.
That's okay, I'm the only woman in the district.
No, you're not.
In the district.
This lady is running for House of Delegates, and she could win.
Yes, she can.
Please tell us.
Yes. All right. You know what? Thank you so much. I'm Zulieka Baysmore, and as most of you know, this is my district, and I ran for mayor. Why? I wanted to actually make a difference, because 6 years ago, I've been here a decade, but 6 years ago, I saw some things so profound just going throughout Baltimore City. The first thing I saw was the dynamic of talent here in our city. The young artists, the young musicians, the young vocalists. And I'm a promoter. 32 years I promoted professional champion boxers. The first female to break into that all-men circle to become a sports manager. So we had people that we elevated, like Layla Ali, like Christy Martin, the coal miner's daughter, and we've been all over the world. They asked me to come in 2013 to bring televised boxing to Baltimore City because they were about to open Horseshoe Casino. And when I came in and saw people off of $295 actually living in tents, I said, wait a minute, hold up. You want me to bring millions here? And this first thing I see are your citizens living in tents? Wait a minute, something's not right about that picture. So we wanted to promote the first ever in a summit to end homelessness starting right here in Baltimore City. We were able to get $30 million from Ben Carson because Pew took my outline, and instead of giving us the Baltimore Convention Center, she snuck him in. He looked at my outline, and I have ears in City Hall, and said, wow, do you think you can get this done? So in 2018, they had $51 million to actually help end homelessness in Baltimore City. Where did that money go? And this is what is the problem with leadership here in Baltimore City. That's what when God compelled me to run. Because I said, wow, the people are so talented, but I'm looking at the history, and you have so much corruption. And what makes it so bad is black people being corrupt against black people.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what? I looked for BLM. I looked for BLM. I looked for BLM to come to Baltimore City just 4 weeks ago when 7 people, young people, black people, shot right over in 41st District, right across from a school where you have 8th graders now over there traumatized. So Pat, thank you my friend and neighbor for asking that important question. What do I want to do in Annapolis? I'm going to be your voice, your fighter, and it's going to be all about you. Not going to be about sending money here to Baltimore City and there's no accountability. Because we're going to make sure, me being in the financial industry for 32 years, the top of my game, a regional vice president in financial services, I know how to follow the money. We're going to make sure, I know, working with this man here, and as most of you know, I don't co-sign for most people. I don't do no co-sign. So that means I don't really endorse candidates. But this man here, out of the 16 candidates that I have met, that I have got to feel their spirits, that I've actually been watching what they do, this man can bring not only hope, but he will actually do the work necessary to actually make Baltimore City the great city that it used to be, that it should be, because of all of you. You guys are talented. You shouldn't have to leave. I see young professionals leave this city each and every day because they don't feel they have the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. We need you, Dan. And guess what? Y'all need me there because I'm going to be one on that House floor. And if I have to shame the Democrats into making sure that the bills that we pass in Annapolis actually benefits all of you, and they know me here. Because they know I'm not going to be in Annapolis. I ain't moving to Annapolis. I'm staying right here in 40 District. Right. So guess what? I'm going to get to see where every dime of that money is going. And if the first time that I see there's been some misdirection of funds, that we, on the Senate side, Chris, because we got somebody running for Senate too. On the Senate side, see, together, we're going to make sure of it. Let me tell y'all, and then I'm going to sit, then y'all can ask questions, then I'm going to sit down. This election season is such a profound and important season, and I'm going to tell you why. Because behind the scenes, some of you are going to have a hard time hearing this. I went to an event yesterday, okay, the GBEF. So for you businessmen people, y'all know what GBEF stands for. Greater Baltimore Economic Forum, okay? And I spoke to the former mayor of Baltimore City.
Kirk Smoke.
Yeah, Kirk Smoke, okay? And let me tell you something. When I got to talking about young entrepreneurs and why we have an obligation to make sure that we bring small business back in a major way, where, let me tell you another thing, our faith base is a business as well, because faith base has a business of gathering souls. Listen up, folks. We have over 3,000 churches in Baltimore City, okay? That church, Leroy, we're gonna make sure they don't close that church. Because you know, y'all that know me, know we're gonna feature them on Fox 45 this week, next week. We're gonna feature them on WJZ. We're gonna feature them, okay? Because we're gonna shame them into doing the right thing. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is your community, Leroy. Leon. This is your community, Pat. Leon. This is y'all's community. So without the people's voice and the people's vote on what shuts down and what stays open, because it's a benefactor, you guys are the benefactor, y'all benefit from these programs, they get the money, but yet soon as a tragic or something like COVID, a pandemic hits you, now all of a sudden, you're right, they walked and stomped on our constitutional rights here in Maryland. They didn't do it in Florida. They didn't do it in a lot of the mid-country states. But they did it to us in a major way in Baltimore and in Maryland. Okay, and we have to get back to some normal. And the only way we're going to do that, folks, is we've got to do it with the power of our vote. Hear me. This is such a crucial moment in Baltimore's history. If we vote the same Democrats in office, let me tell you what they said behind the scenes yesterday. Oh, I'm getting ready to bust them out. And let me tell you what the Senate delegation said behind the scenes yesterday, which I bust them out to their faces. Oh, guess what? We can't let, finally, we got an opportunity to get the power back. Because we need the Democrat governor. We need to take the governorship back. Because then we'll get everything that we're calling for in terms of our platform. Did I hear anything about we want to make sure that we better educate, that we give parents the opportunity to have school choice for the dollars? Did I hear anything about we got to make sure that we're bringing small business back in a major way, because they're the ones that's going to actually create the job opportunities? I didn't hear any of that. Their main primary focus was on, we got to make sure that we get the governor's seat back, because then and only then are we going to be able to pass our agenda. We can get that done now. I'm just listening. And Mecca, who's running in the 46th district on the Republican card, check this out. She was coming right, just coming, being a parent, and talking about why it's so needed, school choice. Why it's so needed for transportation that we actually help to elevate entrepreneurs where we can start transportation businesses. You know what I'm saying? During COVID, they were vital. They were essential. And guess what? It gave those young entrepreneurs an opportunity. A lot of them made almost $100,000 over the past year during COVID. So why aren't we business friendly? Look, I started Z-Bay Development Group right here in Baltimore. And during the pandemic, we actually educated young entrepreneurs, helped them set their businesses up legitimately, knowing when to make it a consultant or an independent contractor, or know when to actually produce it as an LLC entity. Then we helped 300 people get the PPP money. Businesses were suffering. Businesses and restaurants are still suffering right now today. Why? Because we had Democrat leadership closing down this state far too long for no reason, mind you. Brandon Scott closed
I don't want to interrupt you. Our governor is Republican. So it's not.
Doesn't matter.
That's what I said.
I'm speaking truth to power. Does not matter. I'm speaking. Does not matter. I am speaking truth to power.
Some of us
At a certain time, at a certain time, Governor Hogan actually did the right thing. But then I saw when he got arrogant.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to speak truth to power.
Yeah.
I saw when he got so arrogant, when he earned the title chair of the Governors Association and took charge of all our country's governors, and then, the light bulb went out. He decided he wanted to run for president. All bets was out the window when it came to the people of Maryland. All bets was, I want to be president. So I'm going to dog President Donald Trump. I'm going to spurt out all the rhetoric that I can, because the Democrats have been doing that for 5 years now. But those of us that were smart enough and that just had common sense enough to not listen to the rhetoric, but actually to read the policies that Donald Trump brought forth for us, the American people, understood that the policies were actually helping us. The policies were actually great. You feel me?
Can we just put it in this sense? On the day that Mr. Biden came into office, I personally was paying $1.99 for gas. Put it in this sense.
There you go. Right now, the policies are going to kill us. That's why this election season is so vital. It's vital, folks, because we cannot, if you talk about spending the $7 billion that's a surplus for the state of Maryland, if you talk about the $641 million that has come into this city, and what is Mayor Brandon Scott going to do with that money? If you got all Democrats controlling that money, y'all can forget about it. You've got to vote some people that care about you, that really want to see you succeed, that are willing to make sure we fight for you, because it's not about me. It's not about Mr. Cox, Delegate Cox. It's not about a Christopher Anderson or a Mecca Mohammed. Understand, we are servants. The Democrats have got everybody so twisted over a decade now where you forget who politicians are really supposed to be. They are servants. Merely supposed to be serving you. They're not supposed to be there for self-gain. They're not supposed to be there cutting deals with people up the street and emerge behind the scenes, saying, okay, take your name off of the LLC papers, and we're going to go ahead and we'll invest. We'll throw some money your way.
You
feel me?
And that's why
I want to tell the truth about what's going on.
I believe in bringing, like you said, transparency
there you go.
to the party.
There you go.
We can't just vote along party lines. We have to vote.
And you know what? I couldn't help.
In order to
I couldn't
vote
help.
for Delegate Cox for governor, you have to change
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. So look, I need everyone in this room to pass the word on. We're gonna be doing pop-ups in every district of this city. Why? Because even the way the voting is. If you're not Republican or if you are independent, you can't even vote in the primaries. So that's why you change your party line. Look at who's running. Stop just looking at the party. Look at who's running. And then make a decision.
Look at the issues.
And look at the issues and look at the platform.
And vote your values.
And then vote who would better serve you. It doesn't take but 2 minutes to go online and change your party. You can always go back. I did it when Obama ran. Really?
We actually gonna hold a
So we're gonna be holding,
registration.
we're gonna be doing, we're gonna get together.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing much of that, okay? Thank you guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.